Board Game Maniacs, Maniac Rob here to bring you another part in the video mini-series for the tabletop game Test of Honor by none other than Warlord Games. So in this part of the little video mini-series, what I'm doing is I am going to be painting and assembling the buildings needed in preparation for building the game board for this awesome game. So what you're going to see is a series of short little clips, I should say, of how I painted and glued them together. Now, a little bit of a warning is I am far from a professional painter. I've only been involved in doing miniatures for maybe about a year and a half, so I'm still learning as we go along. So if you see anything that would improve my painting or improve my assembly or anything, please, by all means, comment down below into the comment section and let me know all about it, because I love learning new things. And I'm always in this state of learning when it comes to miniatures, for sure. So if you have anything at all, please, again, just comment down below. What I'm attempting to do here with these buildings is from where Warlord had sent me this Dojo set. And I am going to put it together, and then I'm going to airbrush it or paint it with brushes, I'm not exactly sure yet, and construct everything as opposed to buildings, I should say. And then from there, then the next step would obviously be to start building the gaming table. Again, you don't need the gaming table to play this game. You can play it on any surface. You don't even need the buildings in that to play this game. It just adds more three-dimensional and more visually pleasing for playing this game. Just like any other tabletop game, for sure. So have a seat. If you're interested in putting this together, by all means, sit down and watch this. If not, you can skip to the next video or go back to the previous video, which should be the unboxing of it. I think that's what the first one is. In any case, there are going to be a couple of little video segments for this series. I'm starting to ramble on and on and on more. As usual here at Board Game Maniacs, I'm a rambler because I'm a maniac. I'm just showing the instructions, I briefly passed through them. I know this is time-lapse, so it's very fast. But what you see is I'm spray painting the buildings just with generic spray paint that you can get at like your local hardware store or like a superstore. And I didn't treat any of the wood. You know, some people recommend that you treat it with some PVA glue or something just to protect it, because of the cells are so open and they suck in the paint, and you'd have to put so much paint into it to get the vibrancy. But I wanted it to show through, the paint all show through, because I wanted it to be patchy here and there, because I wanted to make a withstand or a dilapidated building, and that's what I did. That spray booth you see there, it has a exhaust fan onto it that is led into my dryer vent that leads outside, and it sucks all the fumes out. It works marvelous, and the thing only cost me maybe about $30 to build. I built it probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Phenomenal, I loved it. So anyhow, going on to this, you see that all I'm doing is I'm using just basic, cheap, run-of-the-mill spray paint, and I'm just spray painting the different colors. Red for most of the dojo stuff, and then brown for the floors. I use some black too as well, and like a pumpkin orange spray paint I put for the roof for the dojo. Now, I'm not only spray painting the dojo here, I'm spray painting pretty much everything that's into the sets. But this part of the video you're watching is just for the dojo itself. You're getting kind of a sneak peek of what other buildings I am painting. So I hope you enjoy this, and again, just sit back and relax and watch the magic happen. After we finished all the base painting, the next thing we're going to do is we're at my assembly desk right now, and we're going to start assembling everything. And again, you don't have to paint it, pre-paint it, and then assemble it if you don't want. This is just my preference, what I want to do. You can seal all the wood for the buildings before you paint it or before you assemble it. I didn't seal it all first because I wanted to just use basic spray paint that you get from like Walmart or you get from any hardware store. So I sprayed it, but the reason why I didn't want to base it first is because I wanted that paint to get sucked into the wood a bit, so it gave more of like an old look to it, like it's been around for years and years and years. This is what I'm probably going to be going with. If after I assemble it, I may think, I don't really like that, so I'm going to paint it fresh, or I might paint it again with an airbrush. I'm definitely going to be touching up the paint job, regardless whether it's an airbrush or with just brushes itself and some acrylic paint. But until then, we're going to start assembling stuff, and then when everything is assembled, I'll decide if I want to do any painting. Because you already see me do the spray painting into my little mini air booth. So the next thing again, we're assembling. I keep just saying it and saying it. I'm rambling. I got to stop learning how to cut down onto my intros because it is very long. But we're going to assemble, and the first thing we're going to assemble is going to be the lanterns and probably the sword, and then maybe the dojo, or I may assemble like a bridge or something. We will see. Anyhow, let's go to the desk. Let's start the assembly off. First things first, we're going to look at the instructions in the diagram. So again, this is for the dojo set. And the first thing we're doing is we're going to assemble the lanterns. You get 2 lanterns into this set, and you also get a measuring device, which is a sword. Actually, in this one, it's pretty cool. I'm going to assemble that too as well. Now, I spray painted these gray, and the assembling don't look very difficult to do. I'll also, just follow the instructions, go to the assembly, and that's what we're going to do. So, for gluing it together, I'm just using regular PVA glue. Now this, you're saying, oh, the label's pulled off of this. This is Army Painter, but it's the Army Painter container, which I've used for my base my minis several times. So I just keep reusing this container and filling it up with my PVA glue. So on with the assemble. With these assembly instructions, which is really cool. Let me just bring my light up a bit. It's a little hot. Not hot to the touch, but like hot isn't very bright on camera. Anyhow, it's showing you everything here is labeled in letters. So like C, A, B, D, E, F, G, H, I. And it goes on from there. So pretty much if you know the alphabet, you just read this. It says assemble A and B together, and then assemble it to the base, which is C. So A, B to C, and then D, then E, and D, then E, and then F to J. So if you know your alphabet, you're pretty simple assembly instructions for this. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to do a time-lapse video of how I assembled this, just to speed up, because it is a lantern. There's 2 of them, and I don't want to bore you guys with the assembly. But if anybody has any questions, comment down below into the comment section and ask me, or if you have any questions, or if you have any comments too as well, by all means just leave them. But anyhow, on with the assembly of the lanterns. So we attached the main part, the body of the lantern, I should say, to the base. Now we're going to start putting on the roof, and once I get all this attached, you can see there, once I get all of these attached, I'll be back. So pretty much, you just sit that on, you glue the cross piece, then glue that one down, and then on top and top until you get to the very small star at the top, and that will be done. I will be back. That's the lantern all done, Board Game Maniacs, and don't it look pretty? Very cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm going to build the other one. I'm not going to record that one because the other one is exactly the same. So when I build that one, I'll come back and have the 2 side by side, and we'll start on the sword / measuring tool. I can't talk tonight. Blah! There you have it, Board Game Maniacs. The 2 lanterns are c'est fini. Finished, finished, finished. And they're very pretty. Indeed. All right, so that's lanterns. Now we're on to the measuring devices, or the sword. We have the Ninjato, Ninjato measuring gauge. So pretty simple. Put the two handles onto the longer part of the handle, then you put the block over top, and that's it. Pretty basic, pretty simple. You know, you get the drift. So you can see here the longer piece, the two handle parts. Make sure to print it goes on the outside though, because you don't want the block too as well. These are painted orange at the moment because they're on the same as what the roof is for the Dojo. But I'm obviously going to paint these differently too as well. And with the lanterns, I'm going to be painting them maybe a little different. I'm going to keep the base tone gray into it though, and we're just going to move on from there. So let's put the Ninja blade together, the measuring gauge. So it goes like this, just so I can show you. I'm not going to do a time lapse of this one because this is pretty straightforward. So you got your two pieces that you put here, and then you got your blade, your block that goes on it. And that's how you do it. Pretty easy. I'll be back when it's done. There we have the sword put together, or the Ninjato measuring gauge. So very simple to put together. I had to get that in frame. But all I did just to help it hold it set while it dries, I just wrapped an elastic band around the handle and around the hilt, or the guard, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to hold it in place so that when it glues properly, I will just take the elastic off it. Pretty simple. Okay, so now I have a choice to make, and that choice is, do I want to do the Dojo, or do I want to start building from the scenery box set? I think I'm going to do the Dojo. Since we're on this part, why not just keep going with the Dojo? On with the Dojo. Dojo! Just a little side note, before we start the assembly, we have to take it. They're sheets, you can see that, they're sheets, and you have to pop everything out. Now, this may be still like MDF wood or whatever type of wood it is, but it's very delicate. So when you're popping these out, you got to be very careful. You may snap them. So what I like to do is just take an X-Acto knife. Now, be very careful. And if you look close enough, you probably can't see on camera because it's not close enough, but there's little tiny connector pieces or ridges. So what I like to do is just find them connector pieces and just use my knife and just cut it, the connector pieces gently, just so that I can slowly just pop them out just like that. The reason why, again, is because it's very delicate and you can snap these, and we don't want to break them because we don't have to try to just fit them and glue them together, because that could just take more time and be a pain in the butt. Now, there's a lot of pieces that's involved in building the Dojo here. Now, I probably didn't paint them all exactly the colors to match everything, but you know what? It's okay, because with paint you can just paint over them, but you have to use very thin paint so you don't cover up the detail. In any case, so this here is where we're at. We're at the Dojo part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the wall support frame to the long side walls, glue the assembly to the floor panel. So this section right here is where I'm starting at. So after I get this done, then I'm moving on to this, and so on. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to explain what each piece is and everything, because if you bought this, you're going and you never assembled it yet, you can just visually look. I don't have to name what every piece is because you had the instructions. But I'm still going to record the assembly part of this. It's probably going to be time lapse, so just hang on to your hats and watch this. It's going to be awesome. What you want to do whenever you can is test fit everything, so just so you can see the points of contact. And with the points of contact, you'll know where to put your glue, which is a good idea. You don't glue down the floor. That's got to be free floating. So I'm just cleaning up the glue around the edges again with the water on my brush. Just wipe the excess PVA glue off. This is the completed Dojo set by Warlord Games, as well as Sarissa Precision. You can buy these miniatures off of warlordgames.com, and you can also purchase them off of sarissaprecision.com. I'm going to build more buildings too as well. It may be included into this video, like I said previously, or it may be each build will be separate. But just a closer look at this, you can see the detail in this dojo is incredible. So I may change the painting scheme. I'm not 100% sure yet. I kind of like it like it is. It's got to stain it up, make it look dirty, which I will paint, and it will be included in a separate video for the painting. I'm not going to show how we paint the stuff because I'm not a professional painter by no means, and I don't want to lead anybody on the wrong path. But assembly, you know, you can only assemble it one way. Pretty simple. So again, you can take the roof off. You can see it's pretty cool. You see me into the assembly, and that's what the ribs of the roof looks like. Very cool. I did do a base coat, like I said, with the spray paint. I didn't seal the wood first. So you can see it's very splotchy. So when I do go to paint this, and where I want to make it look like it's been built a long time ago, and it's been, you know, withstanding the test of time and the weathering and everything, it's going to be a lot easier to weather this. So again, that's your dojo. And there's the lanterns that come with it too as well. You get 2 lanterns, the dojo, and you get your measuring gauge, which is a sword. Well, there's the detail on that end if you can pick it up on camera. So it was a lot of fun building. So stand by for some more building terrain sets. But until then, you know what I'm going to say. Talk to some people, play some VR, play some games, talk to people in person mostly. But most things of all, main thing, most important is be a maniac.